10 easy ways that you can practice speaking English. But before we talk about those 10 ways, we need to make sure that you understand why you are practicing speaking. The main reason that we practice speaking is to get more comfortable and more confident speaking, and to find opportunities to use the language that you have learned, so that you can remember the language and use it more easily in the future. Because of this, your partners do not need to be native English speakers. Native English speakers are good for listening practice and for correcting your mistakes, but that is not the main goal of speaking practice. The main goal of speaking practice is for you to get more comfortable producing spoken language, and you don't need a native English speaker for that. Even when you take English classes with a teacher who is a native English speaker, most of the time you don't speak with the teacher. Usually, the teacher teaches you the target language, and then you practice using the language with the other learners, not with the teacher. So remember, you don't need a native English speaker to practice speaking. Now, here are my 10 ways to practice speaking. 1. Speak to your mirror every morning about what you are going to do and how you feel. For example, I feel a little bit tired today, but that's okay. Today I have a couple meetings. They're probably going to be pretty boring. What am I going to eat for lunch? I think I'll have a sandwich for lunch. 2. Speak to your mirror in the evening about everything you did, how you felt, how you feel now, and what you have to do tomorrow. If your family members see you speaking to the mirror and say things that make you feel bad, just tell them what you're doing. Tell them that practicing English is important to you. And if they continue to say those things, that means that they really don't care about you, and you shouldn't care what they think about you. 3. Speak to yourself all day about what you're doing, what you need to do, how you feel, etc. This is really similar to speaking to your mirror. However, you're doing it all day, and you are using your environment to identify things to speak about. For example, right now it's 7 a.m. I'm sitting in my office. I just drank a cup of coffee. What am I going to do next? I think I'm going to write a report. You can do this out loud, speaking, or you can do it silently in your head. Doing this every day is also going to help you learn to think in English. 4. Speak to your family members, pets, and plants. If your family members don't know any English, teach them some basic English. You don't need to use English all the time, but you can teach them some basic phrases that you guys can use together. That way, you get to practice and they get to learn some too. You can teach your children basic things like pick up your toys, it's time to go, or wash your hands, it's time for dinner. Pretend that your plants can hear you. Talk to them about your day, or tell them how beautiful and healthy they look. Or pretend that your plant is a therapist and talk to it about all of your problems. You can even talk to your plant about how you don't have anyone to practice speaking English with. Do the same thing with your cat or your dog. Or teach your dog commands in English like sit, stay, come. It's basic, but it's practice. 5. Start a club with your friends or your neighbors. A club where you only speak English. I can't believe how many people tell me things like, I'm the only person in my city who speaks English. I have no one to practice with. Are you serious? You think that you are the only person in your city or country who is trying to learn English? Knock on the door of every house in your area and tell them that you are starting an English speaking club. You will be surprised how quickly you find someone to practice speaking with. And some people might laugh at you or think that you are weird. But those people, again, don't care about you. So why do you care what they think about you? I don't care what country you are in. I guarantee that there are at least 5 people within 2 miles of your house who are interested in practicing speaking English. 6. Repeat after me when you watch my videos. I'm not just speaking clearly because I want to make it easier for you to understand me. I'm mostly speaking clearly because I want to show you how to pronounce words correctly. So don't just listen to my videos, repeat the things that I say while you are watching them. Or write them down and practice saying them after you have finished watching the video. 7. Repeat after the people on TV when you watch TV. Just like with my videos, repeat the things that you hear while you are watching, or write them down and practice them afterwards. And you don't have to repeat everything that you hear. But when you hear something that you think will be useful or you think is interesting, then repeat it or write it down. 8. Make flashcards with full sentences and practice reading them out loud every day. Maybe there's a sentence that you know, but in conversation, you can never remember it when you need it. Write it down on a flashcard and practice reading it out loud every morning. If you make 1 to 3 flashcards every day, soon you will have several boxes full of flashcards, and you can spend 5 to 30 minutes reviewing those flashcards every morning or every evening or whenever you want. 9. When you are reading, read out loud. Don't just read the words in your head, say the words. If there is a sentence that you have difficulty speaking, stop and focus on that sentence. Read it out loud again and again until you feel more comfortable with it. And finally, number 10, sing English songs. I never recommend songs for learning English because it's just not my style. And most singers do not use correct grammar, say things that we don't say in real life, and pronounce words differently from the way that we actually pronounce them in conversation. But again, we are talking about speaking practice today, not about learning. Your goal with speaking practice, again, is just to have sentences coming out of your mouth so that you become more comfortable and more confident. And if you enjoy singing, singing is a great way to do that. So those are the 10 ways that I recommend practicing speaking. If you have other ways that you like to practice speaking, please feel free to share those with everyone in the comments. I hope you learned something today. Thank you for watching.